here we go. All right, let's start with a mean. You guys remember the difference between mean, median, and mode? Anybody think they can tell me quickly what they are? Yep. So a mean is the average, as in Miss Nussbaum's mean for making me figure out the average. An average is where you add up all of the data points and divide by how many you have. Median is the middle number. And remember, you have to order these from lowest to highest first. The mode is the one that happens the most often. What if there is more than one that happens more often? Like, I don't know, you've got a whole bunch of stuff and then there's like 2 things that each reoccur 3 times. You list them both. And then what if there's nothing that repeats? Yeah, you say there's no mode. You don't list everything. Just say that there's not a mode. And don't say that the mode is 0 when you mean that no mode, because 0 is actually a number. So that would mean that the number 0 happened the most often. Outlier is a number that is very different from the rest of the data set. All right, weighted mean. This is when entries have varying weights. To find this, circle this part here. To find this, multiply the data times the weight, add them up and divide by the sum of the weights. Some things, the weights already add up to 100%. For example, if it's like 50% here, 15, 20, 10, 5, let's say 50 plus 15 is 65, plus 20 is 85, plus another 10 is 95, plus 5 is 100%. So these already add up to 100%. So you basically make like a tiny little chart here. See if I can get enough lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. So let's see, we got tests, midterm, we've got the final exam, we've got labs, and homework. And then I'm going to put a little W on top of this column for weight. It's what weight each one is. So like test would be 50%, but instead of writing 50%, I'm going to write 0.5. %, for midterms, 20% for final exam, 10% for labs, and 5% for homework. Make sure that's 0.05, not 0.5. And then the X values in the next column are what you actually scored in those classes. So your test was an 86, midterm was a 96, final exam is 82, 98 for your labs, and 100% for your homework. Okay, now before we calculate this, let's just make a reasonable guess. What is a reasonable guess for your grade in this class? So you get a B- on the final exam, A's on your midterm, your labs, and your homework. Tests, you got an average of a high B. What are you thinking? What's going to be their grade? 89%, maybe a B+. That's reasonable. What's an unreasonable answer? 100% is unreasonable, right? I mean, they could possibly get an A, but it'd be a low A, right? But definitely not 100%. The 60% is ridiculous. They're not going to get a D- when the lowest score they've had is an 82. So now it says multiply the data value, this is X is the data value, times the weight, and then add them up and divide by the sum of the weights. Now the weights all add up to 100%, so we don't need to worry about that. So here we've got X times W. You're going to want a calculator for this. Maybe. So the first one's 43, that is 50% of 86. When we got 15% of 96 is 14.4. 20% of 82 is 16.4. 10% of 98 is 9.8. And 5% of 100 is 5. And you add them all up. I got 88.6%, which is a B+. Really close to